right. Sip happens. Stef Corgel, welcome.
Thank you so much
Episode
for having me,
13.
Steph and Steph.
I mean,
Yeah,
this
we
is,
just wanted to make it even more confusing for all of our listeners.
we have Stephanie, Steph with an F and the Steph with a PH. So everyone who's listening is just going to have to figure out where this conversation is going because everyone has the same name.
Enjoy the ride.
We wanted to make it extra fun today.
Hopefully, most of the time it'll be Stef Corgel talking because she has the most to add today. It's all about her, and everyone knows what we have to talk about.
I love it.
At least all different spellings, so we can thank our parents for that.
Yes.
I'm so excited to do this and to chat and get to know you better. For anyone listening, we have really a fun kind of backstory. We are connected through Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, which is one of my favorite places on earth. It's one of my favorite places to talk about because it's this tiny lake town outside of Milwaukee, north of the Illinois border, southern Wisconsin, and we connected at the lake through your wonderful fiance and who I actually crossed over with at GoPro. And we're finally able to make this happen because I think that you have just the coolest background. I was instantly drawn to just your energy, your background. I know you played D1 basketball. You're like an insane runner, marathoner, fitness trainer. And then I was doing Googling. You had like a modeling stint up in Portland working for brands. You were in Italy. Like, there are so many things that I want to dive into that's fitting for this platform, this conversation of life, and we're here for it.
Well, thank you so much for giving me a platform to chat about my life. I feel like I am someone that's so interested in other people and actually more comfortable talking about other people's backgrounds. So when it comes my turn, it's always it's a bit of an experiment. I feel more and more introverted the older I get. So this is a great practice.
Good. Hopefully, we can bring it out of you a little bit.
Yeah.
So again, because we're kind of just scratching the surface, and I'm going to put you on the spot and just tell me about yourself. Tell me about your background. Tell me about your sports. Just tell me about you, and we'll continue to go from there.
Sure. I am living in my hometown currently. Born and raised in Manhattan Beach, California. It's a tiny little beach town in Los Angeles, south of LAX. It's 4 square miles. And ever since I was born here, it has been my paradise. So I think I am extremely fortunate to have that. I grew up playing many sports. The popular thing to do here is AVP volleyball. We're known for volleyball, and we're also known for our lifeguarding program. So though I didn't play volleyball and all my friends did, I was part of the junior lifeguard program and grew up through that system, surfing, swimming, running in the sand every day, kind of like a boot camp atmosphere, but with a twist, a little bit more fun. Even in middle school, we had surf PE. So if you
That's
can imagine,
amazing.
like you
It's like,
call in on a landline, this super bro-y surf teacher instructor, who's actually one of my lifeguard coworkers today, sounded like, "Hey, what's up, Riptides? It's 3 to 4 feet, south swell, corners to be had. Bring your longboard." Yeah. So we'd all rush down to
Wow.
the beach with our boards and be at middle school at 10 a.m. after surfing for a couple hours. But I also had interests in softball, basketball, and soccer. And I know, Steph, you are an amazing soccer player, so you know how great of a baseline fitness creator soccer is for every other sport and every other kind of movement you do in your life. So I would say I was lucky to be thrown into all these activities at a young age, and I never really had to worry about my fitness as I took on new challenges. I ended up playing soccer and basketball in high school and then being recruited to play D1 basketball at UC Santa Barbara and a couple other schools. And it just led to kind of an unexpected life of adventure through the vehicle of fitness.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
amazing.
is your family, because I was raised in a family where we did family, 10Ks, and we would do the Emerald Nuts Midnight Run in Central Park when the family came to visit me in the city for New Year's Eve. so it was very much kind of part of my wiring to be into fitness and focusing on that. Is that the way you were raised? Is your family very much into fitness, or was it just something that you personally, you came out of the womb? Because I do my stalking when we have guests. I saw that your family, your parents nicknamed you Manhattan Beef. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh,
So
I
you
was
were
a
from a
chunk.
young age, you were the athlete, the fitness guru from the family.
She did her research. I was nicknamed Manhattan Beef because as a 2-year-old, I would slide my body under the coffee table and I would start to leg press the coffee table.
So impressive.
God.
I have a 2-year-old right now, and
My
I don't
dad
think he
wrote,
can do that.
well, just you wait.
Yeah,
Give
it's
him an
coming.
opportunity. He'll surprise you. My mother was an insanely good athlete. Growing up in the San Joaquin Valley, she is from Fresno, and my dad is from Ithaca, New York. So he rode crew. They're both great athletes. I would say my mom, hopefully my dad doesn't hear this, but she's a spectacular athlete. Just downhill skiing, grew up racing cars, quarter midgets in the San Joaquin Valley.
No way.
She's got a cool story where,
Yeah.
she raced against the boys. They used to cut her hair so it wouldn't catch on fire and so that she could be disguised as a boy.
Oh my goodness.
So that's kind of the badass that I'm lucky enough to come from. But she was a Fresno State cheerleader. There's a photo of her water skiing on someone's shoulders that my fiance Pat really loves as a water skier, wakeboarder. It's pretty legendary. But yeah, we came from a very active family. I envy the fact that you came from like a race 10K family type of thing. Don't feel like we did many sports together other than like hiking and kind of traveling, but it's something that Pat and I want to impress upon our future family, doing the Manhattan Beach 10K or um, just having these, I guess, benchmarks of good fitness and togetherness
Yeah.
throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
fun though. I mean, I feel like I don't know, like my relationship with fitness and what I sense from you is it's like well, I don't say everything in moderation, but it's like a balance, you know? Like I like loved doing 10Ks and half marathons and, 70.3s and even like century bike rides because I honestly like I knew that there was like a beer at the end of the finish line. And you do it with for fun and with friends and yes, there's a competitive spirit, like of course, but that's what made it think more tolerable or like more ingrained in my everyday life was because it wasn't always just about this huge slog. It was like a mental relief for me. It was a way to socialize. It's fun and I don't know. I just instilling that love of sport is something I'm super trying to do with Max, who's my son, 6, and we're just trying to get like the bike ride situation going. But yeah, it's just like growing up with surrounded by fitness and sports, so impactful. So
Yeah, that's really, really well put. And I think, especially competitive athletes like us, there are those moments when you have to push it over the edge just to understand that balance is necessary for you to perform at your best. I had the most loving, supportive parents of all time, and yet I was the one that naturally put a lot of pressure on myself. So I have experienced the burnout not once, but like time and time and time again. And I think I'm still learning, honestly, still falling flat on my face from time to time, um, being overly committed to the cause when in reality I'm no longer a professional athlete and I enjoy many different things. Among those things, yes, celebrating with a beer at the end of a race or, pulling back, seeing bigger picture and understanding the reoccurring different whys of training, doing a training cycle for a marathon um, or in the future, maybe I'll join you at a 70.3, who knows? But it is this cyclical do too much and then reconfigure your training and understand that there's much more to life.
I
I'm
mean,
currently, yeah.
I was gonna say, like, speaking of like pushing your bound, well, because I wanted to ask you about like London. I know that was a crazy experience for you. I want to ask you about the speed project. I have all these like nerdy, fitnessy, like intense questions for you. But before we even get there, so how did you go from graduating basketball and then being like, I'm going to pursue more of like a career, I guess, I mean, a career in fitness, and everything that you're doing. Because I just would love to even hear about how you're even thinking about that kind of career evolution.
Sure. I was at Santa Barbara for 2 years. Then they cut the exercise science program. So I was really excited to study kinesiology. They cut the program. I was having a tough time under that coach as it was. So I ended up transferring. And in order back then to transfer and play the next year, you had to switch divisions. And if you switched D1 to D1, you'd have to redshirt. So I decided that I didn't want to take that redshirt year. I went D1 to D2, ended up at Cal State Monterey Bay, and the Cal State systems have phenomenal kinesiology programs. So I studied exercise phys. I was a complete nerd. I was in the lab every day. And at the same time, I caught the eye of a fitness modeling recruiter just jogging along the beach. And they ended up signing me on as a fitness model, though at the time, NIL rules are different now. I could not do a paid modeling gig and maintain my basketball scholarship. So it was
Wow.
one or the other. So the moment I graduated was when the modeling thing kind of took off. At the same time, I got an opportunity to play professional basketball overseas in Italy. So all
You
this
say
great
yes to
modeling,
that.
the
You have
modeling
to
stuff was
say,
taken off,
yeah.
but this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I kissed the modeling stuff goodbye, thinking that was the end of it. And I moved over there at 24. I played really just one full season. It was like a season and a half, and then decided I was homesick and just completely over it. So
Was it with what, an Italian, like, and
yeah,
WM? Yeah.
it was, I would say it was the equivalent skill level of Division 2, but it's considered professional. And when I say professional, I was making enough to live and buy a panini on the side. Um, Otherwise, I was pulling from my savings to take a train to go see places because
So
we really
same
didn't
as WNBA athletes today. Pretty
actually.
comparable. Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Isn't that nuts?
I know,
Oh,
it's
it's so
ridiculous.
upsetting.
Yeah.
But I hope we're seeing some change in that area.
Yes, it's happening slowly.
Yeah, fans of Caitlin Clark and beyond. My mentor actually, who taught me all of my ball handling skills, is the head coach of the Golden State Valkyries now, Natalie Nakase.
It's amazing.
And
Wow.
I've seen her come up through the system as video coordinator and assistant coach and head coach of the D League for the Clippers, and just continuing to jump up the ladder, but always capped at a certain point when she should have been head coaching long ago.
Yeah.
So very happy for her. But I played basketball for a while. I came back. I moved to Portland, Oregon, to continue modeling, and I would take 2 flights a week, just going back and forth from LA to Portland.
Which,
And
for
I
people who aren't familiar, Portland is where a lot of the sports athletic brands are based. So that's where a lot of the modeling opportunities would be.
exactly, yeah, it's a fitness modeling hub, and you've got Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, North Face, REI, Reebok, you name it. All of those brands shoot or shot past tense e-commerce there. So that was life for a long time, and it became my full-time modeling gig,
That's so,
and
and
very
so
unexpected.
you went from being a professional athlete to your essentially your athleticism being your professional life, because now you're in a position where you have to, and it doesn't sound like you have to. You're someone who's into fitness and out working out and playing sports and doing things regardless. But that's part of maintaining your professional life as well now, because you have to maintain a certain level of fitness, I would assume. And I would also assume that's not challenging for you. That's got to be pretty fun. You get to do what you love, and that is your job, which is very rare for a lot of people to get paid for doing what they love. So, well done.
Thank you. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I do think there have been moments where I've complained and or I've been over it or this and that. I think anyone who is forced to exercise each day for the purpose of aesthetics, actually. See, that gets to be kind of a clouded why.
Yeah.
When you're working out for function or to train for something or for your health, I feel like that is much more motivating than continuing to work out to remain a certain size. There have been, ins and outs of that. Um, and in my late teen years as well, navigating an eating disorder throughout all of that. So
It almost feels
I,
inevitable uh,
oh
I
yeah,
mean, as a female athlete, as someone in the modeling world, it feels almost impossible to maintain a healthy body image for the entirety. How did you navigate surviving an eating disorder and still coming through now being incredibly, I assume you seem very wonderful and well-rounded and healthy. That's a lot to get through that.
yeah, it sure took me for a spin. I was diagnosed with anorexia athletica when I was 17 years old. And at that point, it was more of I was dealing with an injury. I thought to myself, like, the moment I come out of this boot on my foot, I'm going to remain in good shape by watching everything I eat and getting on the recumbent bike and trying to like out pedal this injury. And by the time I was out of that boot in my most impressionable college recruiting year, 17 years old, I was really, really stick skinny, no energy, just kind of feeling like I'd lost all my skill and strength. And that upcoming year, I went back to my all girls school. And the girls here in Los Angeles told me, "How did you do that? You look so amazing.
Ugh.
Um, Tell me how you did it." And the positive uh, attention that I got for the unhealthy weight that I'd lost really screwed with me
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
and sent me on what would be a decade-long journey of reconfiguring my entire life. It took up so much of my energy and my attention, and I had, I still have just the strongest, closest group of friends and community that I hid a lot from, but could confide in as well. And these were people that had interventions for me and ultimately saved my life and allowed me to understand that being vulnerable enough to go into therapy or to see a
Mhm.
nutritionist was going to open my eyes to this abundance of life that I wasn't experiencing because I was always such in a dark hole of what am I eating? When am I exercising? Am I going to book this job over this other girl? Am I going to get playing time? There
Mhm.
were all these competitive pieces that I now understand. I'm competitive with myself, but I'm not really a competitive person against other people. And yet, I just think it was inevitable in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, thanks for even sharing that. I mean,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah, I mean, I think back, I've actually talked a lot about this with some of my other friends who have played just obviously sports, but specifically highly competitive, like even whether it's D1 sports or any sort of competitive sport, is just this unbelievable focus and attention on performance, but then also, of course, your body and how you look, how you feel, and it almost becomes this huge like control factor. Yeah, I mean, I a lot of, there were several we had a lot of challenges within the Northwestern community, within a lot of female athletes facing just a lot of different disordered eating. And it's so prevalent. And yeah, I thanks for sharing that. And it's something that we've all kind of, it's been part of all of our lives, unfortunately, which is a sad place to be from like society.
mhm. It is extremely cathartic to talk about it and to, I would say even like 6 or 7 years ago, the moment I would start talking about it, I would get teary or I'd get emotional. And now I've just told my story so often and shared it with the Tone It Up community and large
Hmm.
audiences. And it's not only been a relief for me to get it out into the open so I don't feel like a hypocrite of,
Yeah.
train your body this way, eat this way, when really inside I know, oof, man, it's something I've really struggled with for a long time.
Yeah.
But it really brings women together. It helps us to support one another and understand each other. And as a fitness coach, it is the biggest gift that I went through that because it's given me such a deep empathy for others.
Absolutely. I
Like
think
I
it's so
think of, well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think we were all raised, and I think there's still a lot of it now, where there's certain things you don't talk about. You don't talk about how much a woman weighs. You don't talk about politics. You don't talk about religion. You don't talk about these things. Obviously there's still a lot of things that are not appropriate to talk about with, at the dinner table, but I think being able to openly talk about things, like Stephanie and I are both very open about going through IVF. I'm very open about when I had an eating disorder, because I think it's not taboo.
Mm.
It's things that people are experiencing, and especially women, and being able to create a space where women don't have to come and feel open and tell their story, but they need to know that other people have similar stories, and hear that more often, and know that they're not alone in what they're going through. Because so often women feel that they got to keep their mouth shut, don't talk about it, just deal with it yourself, it'll resolve eventually. And that's not how this works. We have community, you
Right.
have people, you have resources that are here to help.
Yeah,
I was thinking
absolutely.
about like, so because I worked in magazines, I worked at Self Magazine, part of Condé Nast, and
Mhm.
I loved it. One of my favorite jobs. And I was actually looking back at previous print issues that we had, but even the way that we used to talk about food and fitness and nutrition in Self Magazine, this like huge beacon of advocacy for women and being who you are, like we would regularly have like articles and social content that would say things like how like, oh, what did you eat? Like one bag of M&Ms equals X amount of minutes on a treadmill. It just was such an unhealthy way to think about food and nutrition. Like those were everywhere, and that was just the way in which we. Sure, it might be a little bit of clickbait, but it also fostered a very unhealthy way to think about fitness and nutrition. And yeah, I feel like even that has changed dramatically in terms of but I also think, and again, this is going down another rabbit hole of like nutrition and social, but like TikTok now, so many like ways of talking about disordered eating that are like code words for what they really are. And again, you probably see this in the fitness industry. So,
Oh
anyways,
man,
yeah,
it's a dangerous thing to open Instagram these days, or TikTok. It kind of just makes me want to bang my head against the wall. It's these very polarized views of this is good, this is bad, that are really messing with people. And it's the most vulnerable people that succumb to these lies and tales. It's The
crazy.
algorithm is so powerful. I can be, thinking, gosh, I haven't washed my hair today. I'm almost out of my shampoo. And without saying it aloud, a Pantene ad pops up. Or, I could be feeling a little bit of shame that day. Clothes aren't fitting. I'm going to get my period in a couple days, just not feeling great. And it's all of those like weight loss, GLP-1 things that pop up. And I don't know how they're in my brain. If I'm
It's
struggling
so
with it and I
creepy.
I feel like the healthiest I've been in my
It's so
life, then
creepy.
I can only imagine how
Every
how it
time
would
something like that
impact someone.
happens, I'm like, what if I was a 13-year-old girl?
Yeah.
I feel so, so lucky to have grown up without social media, that it didn't exist when we were growing up.
Such a
And I'm
blessing.
terrified for what that means for my kids, because
Mm,
I see how dangerous it is, and I'm active on social media. It's still
mhm.
I still and it's like, feeling guilty about being a professional in the fitness world while also, having an eating disorder. I talk about the dangers of social media, and I'm active on social media all the time. I fall right into the trap. I am a very, very active user. And I don't know what that looks like in terms of future generations, and trying to protect not just my kids, but all kids. Because if I, as a very confident, self aware 40-year-old woman, can scroll Instagram or TikTok and get sucked into a vortex and be like, oh my gosh, I've been on here for 2 hours. Or, oh my gosh, I need that because that person looks amazing when they're wearing that. It's going to look amazing on me as well, or whatever it is. What does that mean for little moldable minds?
Oh, so
Yeah. How old are your kids?
4 and 2, and I'm brewing number 3.
Oh, yay! Congratulations.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wonderful.
Thank you.
And Steph, how old is your son?
Max is 6, and he is currently sitting in front of YouTube right now, consuming said social media
Great.
as we podcast. So
Great.
it's great.
It is so entertaining.
It's the kids version. It has the parental controls, but still, but like you use it when you need to, and this is one of those need to moments.
But even then, like, you feel the need to explain that. It's not, you don't have to explain that. It's great. Our kids have screens on all the time. There's no need to explain, justify, whatever it is. Do what works for you. You are
But a lot
doing
of
what you need to get space right now.
But a
which is
lot of the
great.
comments are like, what age do you give your kid a cell phone? I think that, a lot of like our friends are all doing, there's like wait until 8, which is like wait until 8th grade. I think some sign pledges amongst like friend groups to not have, an iPhone or whatever until like 16, which if they can hold out until 16, that'd be amazing. But I feel like at least a dumb phone might need to be introduced just for like purely communication purposes. But yeah, I'd love to hold off as long as possible.
It's a decision I don't envy, but we'll be picking your brains whenever the time comes for us, because I don't know the answer to any of it.
So
No one does, which is
Yeah.
it's kind of the part where we have to keep these platforms and conversations going, because no one does know the answers, and it's different for every family. It's different for every kid. And when does your family planning, not to completely get personal, but you don't have a family or kids yet. You just recently got engaged. When did you get engaged?
Yeah, we got engaged in February, so that'll be step
Congratulations.
1. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're
That's
fired
awesome.
up. I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
He gives me butterflies just as I'm sitting here, and
That's the best.
we have so much fun just doing boring daily life shit. It's just I can't even
That's
describe.
yeah. Marry that person. Marry that person.
Yeah.
That's the person for forever. And you
Yeah.
want to have kids.
We'd like to have kids. I actually was someone that could have gone either way.
Okay.
Still see myself as a 34-year-old kid. Um, I I don't feel pressure to have kids, but I've found someone that I really want to witness as a father. So I think
That's the
you know,
coolest.
yeah, that's a really major reason. The other reason that probably isn't valid, my dad, he swears that I need to have a kid because, Steph, don't you remember all those years I coached youth sports? Don't you want to teach your kids the star defense? This is a star defense. He would have us put our hands up in zone defense and shout, "Twinkle, twinkle."
oh my gosh,
So,
I love it.
that's another huge reason to have
You
kids.
have to fulfill your destiny. Yeah, you have no choice.
Yeah, but it does, that's kind of what I romanticize, having kids to do active things with. And just, I feel like kids keep you young and keep you learning and curious. And uh,
Can confirm.
yeah, you get to see the best and worst parts of you play out in them, hopefully more of the best. But it's also just, it's a way to give back to a world that can seem a little bit dark, and you just add that sparkle. Yeah, so we're family planning. We became domestic partners really to join on to his health insurance and be able to
Love it.
do the egg freezing process.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah,
Wow. So have you guys done egg freezing, or are you just exploring what that looks like? You've done it
we
already.
have done egg freezing. We did it in January, mid-January of this year. And wow, what a doozy. And both of you have been through IVF?
We've
We've
both
been
been
through
through IVF. Yeah.
all of
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
so similar but different. I'm not too studied on IVF, but I'm assuming it's about the same.
Similar. We just already added our partner to the mix.
Yeah. That was a big question when we did the egg freezing, whether we wanted to do eggs or embryos. At the time, we weren't engaged. I was also, something in the back of my mind is always shouting at me to be a strong, independent woman.
What do you
Take
think
care
that
of.
is? Is that your mom? I'm so curious. What is it, your mom?
I've noticed a similarity between me and a lot of my friends with Asian mothers. So dad's Irish, dad's Caucasian, mom's completely Japanese. And at first, even my parents were a little bit weary that I would get on Pat's health insurance, to just be completely transparent. They said
Wow.
to me, "You've put money aside for this. You work, don't you? Why don't you pay for it?
Yeah.
You don't need to owe anyone anything." And they love Pat. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was kind of just this old mindset, old way of thinking of, you're separate until you're married. And the world is just more fluid today. And partnership, in partnership, you help each other where you can. And, some days I'm going to give 20% and that's all I got, and he's got to give 80, and vice versa a lot of these days. I mean, I made the guy eggs this morning and given him my 60%.
Right.
All sorts of eggs. You are just
Yeah.
all of the
All
eggs.
sorts. Yeah.
I'm just meeting you and I have never met him, but I'm really excited about you two as a couple. I love this. I love your marriage. I can't wait to see what happens. It's
Thank you
beautiful.
so much.
Just the way you talk about him.
But I think it's such a great, I don't know, just to at least have that type of, I don't know, self understanding and to see that and to make that decision. I think about, because like I got pregnant with Max when I was 35. And like I look back at that time and like I don't know, maybe a different lifestyle because I was married and we were like kind of ready to have kids, but I don't know, yeah, I just it's so great just to hear that thought process out loud in terms of I don't know if I want kids. Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but here's some insurance. I'm young, I'm capable, self-assured, and I'm going to do this. And I
And you
love
have an
that.
insurance plan that is going to at least contribute, if not fully cover it. And Stephanie and I have talked about this before. I never thought about freezing my eggs. I didn't start trying to procreate and trying to have kids until I met my husband and got married, because that's the way I was raised. That's the order it goes. And then discovered that I had unexplained infertility. So we couldn't have babies naturally. It just didn't work. So then finally started doing all the research into, IVF and all of that. There's so much of me that I wish I'd known that egg freezing was even an option while I had insurance coverage at some of my other jobs before I even met my husband. Just knowing that I wanted to have kids eventually, because I'm someone who's always wanted to have kids. And I'm very happy with the way my story has worked out. Our kids are perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. But I think having conversations like this again, so that people know, ask about egg freezing. Even if you don't know what you want,
So
know
this
your
this
options.
might be too personal, so we can change the topic. But like, so you freeze your eggs, but we'll go there.
Keep
Freeze
poking.
your
Yeah, go
eggs.
for it.
Ask me anything.
It's more like the insurance thing. So it's like you freeze your eggs just so you have them, but that doesn't mean that you have to have a baby via IVF. Like you can, you right? So it
That's
was less for
true.
like health reasons, more for just like, hey, I'm at a point in my life. I'm enjoying my fitness career. I'm pursuing all these things. And I aren't married yet. Not that it's a big deal, but like, I don't know. Let's just figure out life for a little bit. Let's just freeze my eggs. It's an insurance plan. I'm young. I'm healthy. Cool. If I want to use them down the road and I need them, I got them. But you don't have to do IVF. You can have kids spontaneously, naturally, or whatever the PC word is for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll explain my reasoning. I have to give credit to a lot of my girlfriends who were going into business school. A lot of them saw business school as a postponed timeline to have kids, because they are all about 33, 34, 35 years old as well. So I kind of logged onto that and followed suit. Uh, Other reasons, as explained, the whole eating disorder history. I in all checkups, my OB, every doctor said my hormone levels are fine, everything's looking good, follicles are good. Um, I just had kind of a gut feeling that if I were just going for a natural pregnancy for the first time, that I might be the one to have a little bit of trouble with it. So it is an insurance policy. Just no shame in it. Just I really, my
Yeah.
period has never been regular. There's irregularities that I have that could be foreshadowing that I might have some issues getting pregnant. All that to say, when I told friends and people that don't quite know me, but peers, that I was going to go through the process, everyone immediately thought she has fertility issues, which is not the case. It's just, you know, to each his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
Also, yeah, we wanted to wait. We wanted to wait till we're married, and Pat just might be a 39 or 40-year-old dad for the first time, and that's going to have to be okay with him. He's a wonderful partner, and I want to do right by him. Um, I maybe am not going to say this in the proper way, but I am the main part of the equation when we have a kid. And so it is my call, and I'm okay,
Yes,
staking my claim in
absolutely.
that. And the only thing he
Absolutely. And
can
having
do
a
is
partner who respects
zip it and
that
be
is
supportive. Yeah.
phenomenal. Like,
Yeah. So that's another way to
well,
know
we
that
are
your
all
partner's the
for,
right one.
I will be having this baby when I'm 41. So we are all for
All
doing
right.
things later in life. We fully support
Yeah.
it. You do what
Oh,
makes
that's
sense for
wonderful.
you.
My mom
You do
had
what
me at
works.
40 naturally. That
And
got
apparently
my
she's the
fingers
coolest
crossed.
person I've never met. So I love that
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
That's
She's
fantastic.
she's awesome. I will say she had several miscarriages. Another subject that's really not talked about enough. I think that falls in the category of eating disorders and red S for athletes and egg freezing, all of it. The more it's talked about, the more comfortable people are around the topic, and the more men that get curious about the topic as well, and therefore can be supportive of it as well.
yeah, it
Agreed.
happens. I had three. Stephanie's had several. It's part
Two.
of, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's part of life, and it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I
Oh,
had my first
sorry.
miscarriage, I didn't realize, I think it's one in, is it 1 in 4 or 1 in 8 pregnancies ends in miscarriage? And as soon as something happens to me that I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder if anyone else has gone through this, I start doing all my research and I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone's gone through this. Why do I feel like I'm the only person going through this right now?
Well,
It is so common. And I also, there's, especially around miscarriage, there's so much language that I hate using and try to be very thoughtful about using, like lost to pregnancy, as though you misplaced it, is something I hate.
mhm.
It's not, I didn't lose a pregnancy. I didn't lose the baby. It just didn't stick. It wasn't healthy for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't have answers, but there's, especially around miscarriage, I try to be so sensitive about the way I'm talking about it because I can be very blunt, as you've probably seen over the past 30 minutes. I can be very direct. So I try to be very thoughtful when I'm just like, charging at people like a raging bull, talking about miscarriage and infertility and all of these things, because it is a sensitive topic, because even though it is so common, it is not talked about. And
Yeah.
it happens to either you or someone you know. I guarantee it's happening in your circle.
And yeah, well, thank you for sharing. I can't imagine how devastating having a miscarriage must be, and it may be in my future, and it's just another opportunity to show strength and resilience. And I'm so freaking proud of you and just jazzed that you have your beautiful family today. And
We are too.
that's
Thank you.
that's wonderful. But yeah, fertility is a mystery, and I found that out through egg freezing. I
Yeah.
had all the follicles in the world, and we thought we were going to get many eggs. And through the entire stimulation process, which are the shots leading up to the retrieval, I felt very normal. I was walking as active as I could be without disturbing the process.
Hmm.
Uh, didn't feel hormonal, didn't feel like the roller coaster of emotions. And then the day that I did the trigger injection and went to go get the retrieval the next morning, um, we were able to get half as many eggs as they told me. So the moment I came out of anesthesia, I was like devastated that my body had failed, that I'd failed, I'd done wrong, I didn't take care of myself or something like that. Um, and then by the time I got home, I looked on the online portal and they'd had to discard 3 more eggs
Yeah.
because they were too mature.
Heartbreaking.
So yeah, it just that moment
And you're
of
hopped up on all the hormones anyway, so everything
yeah,
hits even harder. Yeah,
right.
I'm
It was like
so sorry.
this peak of hormones all of a sudden, and
Yeah.
Pat was at work. I'm glad my puppy was here at the house with me, but the moment I saw that I lost more eggs, it kind of I would imagine it's a momentary feeling of what a miscarriage might feel like, much different, but
Hmm.
just that I did all
You're
these
losing a bit
things
of
right.
hope.
Yeah, how could this happen? But we were lucky and
Also
just
something
fortunate to
so
get what we
intrinsic
got.
that's like tied to like your femininity though. There's like I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the right word to say it, but it's just like, yeah, you kind of feel like I don't know, like God,
It's
I
true.
failed at another
Yeah.
thing, and like
I'm a
not only
woman. I'm
can I
supposed
not
to be able to do this.
kind of, but like not only can I
Yeah.
not have a baby naturally, not that that was you, but this is my thought process.
Hmm.
I mean, that your internal talk track is like the devil. It is like the worst, most negative things. Like you know how to like hurt yourself more than anyone else because you know exactly what to think, what to say. Like I can think this is getting dark, but like I can think and say like the worst things to get me in like the worst mood because I know my insecurities, I know my vulnerabilities. And so like I remember when I was like going through like the worst of my IVF stuff, I was like, I had just left Verizon. I was trying to figure out what I'm doing with a career. So like literally like, my internal talk track, which was so negative, was like you're isolated in the country, you're unemployed, you're infertile, you have no job, like everything that is just the most negative thing because you just, you know how to hurt yourself. Um,
Hmm.
sorry, that just went really dark. I didn't mean to like be all like
No,
that. Like I
it's
know how
very
to,
valid. Like
yeah,
it feels like you're stripped of your female essence.
totally.
Like your dark thoughts equal my like, gosh, Steph, you don't have a maternal instinct in your body. That's why this happened to you. Or look back, you've, put your body through an eating disorder. You've mistreated it for this amount of years. Of
Mm.
course, this would happen to you.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
having to like relive the shame live, knowing that it's not the truth, but why do we do this to ourselves?
I know. It's like the
Brutal.
smartest, strongest women can like have the worst,
Mhm.
internal dialogues. Like I completely get it. So,
Yeah.
okay, switching gears because I want to be mindful of time. Um, I want to hear more about what's going on just, I don't know, career-wise, fitness-wise. What are you training for? Are you working with Vuori? You're doing your own, workouts that I'm always seeing on social. Like, give me the updates, all the fitness updates, all the good stuff.
Sure. I do so many different things. I call myself a mixed bag of treats when anyone asks me what I do for a career, but I am a Vuori ambassador, and under that hat is leading they call it Active Club, which is our online YouTube channel for workouts that are free. I also have an online subscription that a lot of my Tone It Up audience has followed me to the subscription. So we've been working out together since 2017, and we still get to chat every day.
Oh,
So
that's
there's
neat.
that. I also teach at a place called Barry's, which is a fitness franchise, high intensity treadmill and weight
Curious
room.
the boot camp?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
that's the one. So I'm there. I love teaching in studio because you just have so many wonderful touch points with the community. I also lead events and can teach any corporate fitness events. So anything live is something that really fills me up. But on the side,
Yeah.
I have started to invest in different wellness brands that are sustainable,
Interesting.
natural brands. Yeah, I have actually have two right next to me. I'll show you.
Yeah, tell me, tell
There you
me.
go.
So one of them is Hume Supernatural. We
Ooh,
do a non-toxic, I'll send you guys some non-toxic, paraben-free, cruelty-free deodorant, and a
Amazing.
lot
awesome.
of the non-toxic products don't work.
Yeah.
We
I've
work.
tried some.
So
Great.
yeah, right. I think everyone's gone through about 10 different natural deodorants.
Where you
That
Yes,
try
I
to be better and you try to put better stuff in
yeah,
your body, but it's not working. I still smell terrible.
yeah.
So now I got to go back to the bad
Good.
stuff. So that's great. That's awesome.
Stephanie, I'm going to send you one more, and if it doesn't work, then you can write them off for
I'm
eternity.
very stinky right now. I'll be honest. There's a lot of stuff happening in my body. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Ooh. So we just came out, and I'll segue into running, but
yeah.
we have our non-toxic deodorant. We have an all-body deodorant, which we're advertising in a very fun and vulgar way. Like you can rub it on your pits, on your breasts, on your skin folds, pregnant women in between the thighs, and
Yeah.
then on your balls, anywhere below the belt, on your feet.
Great.
And it also
Good
doubles
for
as
all.
anti-chafe.
Oh my
So
goodness. Yeah.
I'm
Great.
getting
Sign
a
me
lot
up.
of our runners. Yeah.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and then I also invested just 3 weeks ago in like this. This is kind of a Gen Z period brand. So they have
Okay.
liners. It's called August.
Nice.
Yeah. And nothing too different or special about it, but it is like really Gen Z forward with their marketing. Just wonderful, sustainable cotton products with
Yeah.
longer applicators. And we came out with a new period cup, which is really great for beginners that want another alternative to tampons.
I haven't gotten on the period cup train yet.
Yeah,
In my head, I'm like, I got to try it. I got to give it a shot.
yeah.
Because that's
Yeah,
another thing where I just know I'm putting toxins in my body, pads,
yeah.
tampons, everything. We know it's not good for us. We know.
Yeah. But I mean, whatever option makes you most comfortable is the right one. But for
Agreed.
instance, like I'm injured right now, so instead of running, I'm pulling out of Sydney Marathon and Berlin Marathon coming up. I am doing a Manhattan Beach to or Hermosa Beach to Manhattan Beach peer-to-peer swim, and I'll put in my period cup because I am on my period. I don't want to wear a
Great.
tampon for a 2-mile swim, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the use case there. So
I
yeah,
love that.
You're
I'm
injured.
injured. You mentioned the speed project earlier. That was back in March, and it's this ultra marathon team relay from Los Angeles, Santa Monica Pier, all the way to the Vegas sign. And you don't always go the same route. This year they
My
threw a
goodness.
twist at us and made us do a scavenger hunt.
This year,
That
so you've done this multiple years?
2 years, yeah, 2 years in a row. So the first year was a 300-mile straight shot. This year was a 400-mile curvy situation to the Arizona border and then straight up through Henderson. And that extra night in the desert in the dark was a lot. But 2 girls, 4 guys, you rotate as often as you want.
Does your
And
fiance do
that
this stuff with you?
kind of no, but he is supportive in the best way.
Okay.
And
Okay.
say Pat and I balance each other out in that he loves being active, he knows what he likes, and he knows his limits, and he's continuously motivated to be in the best shape he can possibly be in, but he's not gonna jump on a motorhome with 5 strangers and
I don't, yeah.
poop in the
That takes a
desert.
special kind of athlete to do that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that runs through my mind of you get to do this once, even if it
Sure.
doesn't happen
Yeah.
once, like not necessarily FOMO, but like what is the best that could happen? And
Yeah.
out
That's
of
such a
that
great
kind of
attitude.
situation, you become family and close knit with a group of people that you may otherwise have nothing in common with. And it's kind of that feeling of team sports again,
Yeah.
as an adult that you just really try to scrape and claw for in any way you can, whether it's like a run club or, my lifeguard coworkers. Something about doing something physically strenuous and just out of your mind together and surviving it bonds you for life, and it's such a cool feeling.
I love that reframing of what's the best case scenario? What's the best thing that could happen? I go opposite, which is so counterintuitive, which is I go into like either a hard race or a hard moment or a hard job or a hard experience. And my fallback is always, well, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'm like, oh, well,
Mhm.
worst thing that can happen, I can move back home. That can happen, I quit. Worst thing that can happen, I walk. And like, I kind of feel comfort in like thinking about the worst case scenario. But why don't we think about like what's the best thing that could happen? I could feel amazing on that run. What's the best thing that could happen? I could love living in that country. What's the best thing that could happen? You actually get pregnant. Like
Yeah,
it's just such a better positive way of thinking versus the opposite. So I took a little
yeah.
note down on my post-it when you said that because
Oh, wonderful.
yeah,
Yeah, I think everyone needs a reframe from time to time because I'm quite a cynical person myself. It's just like the defense mechanism. You don't want to get hurt, so you prepare for the worst. Um, but yeah, I think navigating your relationship with failure and seeing failure as your closest friend and best teacher is like a gem for me. So, what's the best that could happen? London Marathon. I ran too hard. It was too hot. I should have pulled back. I ended up passing out at mile 22 and I was going for a big PR, and I don't regret it. It was not the safest thing to do, but man, did I take away some humbling bits there, and it'll help me prepare for the next one when I'm healthy. And um, what's the best that could happen? We got a lot of great content out of me failing. It's almost more endearing to see that, oh, this
But you ended up
elite.
finishing the race. I remember watching this on like play out on social because London was like extremely hot this year and so many people were dropping out. And I remember you ended up going into the medical tent, like passed out, go to the medical tent, get your temperature, get relief, but then you ended up finishing still. And you still like finished in like a record time that like I never would have dreamed of after going into like an emergency tent, right?
Yeah, thanks, Steph. I mean, I was cooking. I was on track to really crush it that day, and I just, mile 21, it's like I'm going down. And I remember having this thought, and it goes back to like just being raised as a tough female athlete, probably too tough. I had the thought of I need to get to the right side, because if I'm in the middle when I pass out, not like if I pass out, I knew I was going to run until I passed out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
why not just walk? It just wasn't an
Right.
You
option.
know it's coming. Yeah.
So that's insanity. But I did get off to the right side. I touched this wooden barricade, and then I don't remember anything. But I woke up standing up, and then a guy ushered me without having to disqualify me, just like waved me 5 feet into the medical tent that happened to be there. And then they put me down. They stuck a tube thermometer up my ass. They went straight for the rectal thermometer. I don't know
Wow.
why.
Wow.
Efficient.
Uh, and we hung out there and for 45 minutes.
When you go in
I
there though, does your time stop and then you once you get back on? Or you that see like that's the thing that's so crazy impressive is the entire time you're in this emergency tent, the time is still going by and you still like finished better than like 90% of the people there. Like that
it
just shows
was
you how fast you were probably going, which is crazy.
it was set up to be a good day, but yeah, I think if that had happened in the US, there's no way they're letting you back onto the course to finish. But I was like a toddler kicking and screaming, like, just let me go back in. Just and they did. And they did. They said, we did not advise you to do this. We would prefer that you didn't, but we also can't stop you. So I
Wow.
started to walk, and after you've been running that hard for 22 miles and you get back up after lying down, I think that was the toughest thing that I've dealt with in a
Yeah.
long time. Just like my stomach's gonna go, my legs don't feel
Your
like they're my
legs.
own,
Yeah.
but there's just something so incredibly energetic, and you can just feel the pulse of a city when you're running a
Hmm.
marathon. Especially, London was the biggest marathon ever recorded this year, 58,000 people. And I, for the first time during a marathon, stopped thinking about my time or trying to PR or anything. And on those final 4 miles, I looked around, I went and tapped some signs. I listened to the crowd. I looked up and saw where I was in London. I saw
Ugh,
Buckingham Palace.
it's
And
magical.
that, yeah, it just gives me chills. And that's, it's always a reframe. What is the lesson that I'm meant to learn? Greater empathy, to stop being so tunnel visioned, to understand that Pat and my parents had flown all the way to London to watch me race, and they never saw me race because I didn't make it to them. But we went out for beers immediately after. We laughed about it. I pouted about it. I just really saw that once again, there is no performance-based love in my relationships. That makes me misty. Um, but I'm going to be loved no matter what. If I failed and if I continue to fail, as long as I'm trying my best, got people that are really freaking inspired by me, and I'm so
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah, it's amazing. Awesome. Do you have, I know you're taking a pause right now, just given injury, but like, do you have I don't know, a race wish list or a race dream, or what's like the one thing that you haven't done that you want to do?
Yeah, I I've set up some lofty running goals, but I think I'm rearranging them so that they're a little bit more pleasant and more accommodating for creating content around them. My goal would be to do the 7 major marathons, the world major marathons, in under 3 hours. So that would be Sydney is the newest one, Berlin, London, New York, Chicago, Tokyo, and Boston. So I can check off Boston and Chicago, and I have a lot more to go.
No biking? Any of the half Ironmans? I mean, you swim, you bike. Would you do it?
Steph, yep, I'm Tricurious. I'm very Tricurious. I've been biking to fill the void of running, and I'm scared to death of all these clip-in situations, but you're darn right, that's going to happen as well. So I'll pick your brain
No
about
doubt.
that.
No doubt. I mean, I've never run a marathon. I've done halves, but I've done half Ironmans, but no marathon.
We're definitely going to chat. I think the half Ironman sounds like a dream.
Perfect amount.
Yeah.
So, well, this
You
has
could do a
been,
marathon in your sleep.
She
Anyone
could.
can run a marathon.
I
She
don't
could.
know. I feel like no. I honestly like I'm not built for running. I'm built for sprinting. I'm built for 10K. Longest distance I enjoy running is like a half marathon. I could do a marathon. If we all could physically do
You
one.
could.
I could. I don't know if I'd want. I got the
Yeah,
running.
see, that's the point. It's like, would you enjoy it? Yeah. Could you run a marathon?
I'm
Yes.
surprised
Would
you
you enjoy
haven't
it?
though, Steph, because you're so competitive. Like part of me feels like you would want to just to prove that you can. Like you know you can, but you've never done it.
Got really the beginning of this year. I got really on the running bug again. Did
Yeah.
the Nike half in June, which I think you were going to do.
Right. Yeah.
And I really like that. And then I have an injured foot right now, so I feel you on the whole injury thing. And
Cute.
so I actually was on a list to run Chicago for the first time. So I figured if I'm going to do a marathon, I would love to do Chicago for all of the reasons. And I'm not going to be able to just because I haven't been able to physically move for like a month. But maybe, I think maybe next time we do
Well,
this, I'll,
we'll chat about Chicago. I think if someone's going to run one marathon in their life, Chicago's wonderful. Just for
yeah.
the fact that it's a great place to spectate. You can see your friends and family up to like 6 times, maybe more if they're hustling around.
Oh, that's so cool.
Boston, you're going to see everyone once. New York is just, it's insanity.
I like
Like,
have no interest in New York. I love watching marathons. I love
Watching New York is super fun.
I
yeah,
The
cry every
vibe, the
time.
energy,
I
every
cry
time. Yeah.
every time. I can't stop. Yeah, New York's amazing as a spectator. Just the logistics. I can't deal with the logistics anymore. So I feel like Chicago's the easiest. I'm from there. I get it. But
start
like,
and finish in the same place.
great. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
it's
So,
awesome. Yeah,
um,
I'm excited for you.
thank
And
you.
bummed you're hurt too.
Isn't it
It's
just
just the worst.
it is the
Yeah.
worst thing for active people who just have a mental capacity for just movement as like their form of wellness.
Mhm.
It just sucks. There's no better way to say it, but it stinks. We'll get
Yeah, it's there's plenty of little social media reels that I watch are they're it's like my girlfriend her running brain and it's like this girl walking over I'm just gonna go like test my injury. Do you ever do that? Like just
like,
gonna
oh,
make sure like see if my ankle still hurts or like,
Yeah.
you
See how
know,
much I can get away with without
test my
further injuring
injury.
myself. Yeah.
Like what's going on up here? There's a squirrel running around.
But that's the strong,
Confirm
independent
that.
woman, you know? You got to keep going. You can't stop. Gotta keep going.
Yeah, but that's why we have strong male counterparts too. To say sit your
Yes.
ass down. This is the
Yeah.
couch. Couch meet Steph, Steph meet couch.
nice to
I,
meet
I
you.
think all of our partners have used that exact quote at a
Yeah.
certain time in our lives. So
Unbelievable.
it's necessary.
Well, this has been amazing. I cannot wait to do this again with you, hopefully soon in
Yeah.
person, hopefully at a lake, maybe at a marathon. maybe if you guys make it to New York, we'll do this live, but this was so fun. This was like,
Thank you for being so open and sharing so much about your life. I think,
Oh.
as we said, those conversations are so important. So thank you for being a part of them.
Yeah,
really
and thank
important.
you, Steph and Steph, for all you do. Clearly, this podcast is going to impact so many lives and make women
Thank you.
feel way more comfortable in whatever walk of life that they're currently struggling
That is
well
the
through.
hope.
Yeah.
That is the hope.
Yeah.
all right. Until next
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
Oh, Lemon says bye. Yep.
Perfect
It's time.
timing.
Cut it off.